Virtual production of Phaedra.
And college campuses across the nation recognize Rain Day.
All that and more happening at and around Hofstra Today.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Hofstra Today. I'm Max Sacco.
And I'm Katerina Balalis.
Well, Kat, it's the best time of year. It's awards season. The Oscars are coming up. Very interesting to see what they can do for awards this year. Do you have any categories you're looking at?
Yes, this is one of my favorite times of the year, and I'm looking at Ma Rainey's Black Bottom for Best Actor and Actress. Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman were both absolutely incredible in that film.
I gotta say, Nomadland is my favorite. I love the acting, and it really didn't feel like a movie. It felt like I was watching a biopic and just looking into someone's life. Great acting, great directing. I'd be shocked if it doesn't win Best Picture.
It's going to be very exciting to see what happens on April 25th, but I also want to talk about the Herbies, another award show here at the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication. Next month, we're both going to be presenting. I'm very excited for it.
I'm excited too. We haven't heard what we're presenting yet. Obviously, we might be separate categories, might be together, but we'll have to see what happens on the Herbies.
Definitely. It's going to be a great show, just like the show we have for us today.
It should be great today.
Join the Hofstra Center for Civic Engagement this Earth Day for Restore Our Earth, a conversation with climate organizers. Learn about environmental activism from experts in the field as they discuss their works and the next steps towards a greener environment. The event will be held virtually on Thursday, April 22nd from 11 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. To RSVP to the event and to check out other Earth Day events being held on campus, go to the Hofstra events calendar.
The Peter S. Calico School of Government will host a panel discussion next week focusing on national security issues in the United States. The event, which is a part of the Eisenhower Series College program, will be moderated by Associate Professor of Political Science Paul Fritz. The virtual panel will include members of the U.S. Army, National Guard, and the Air Force. This exciting event will take place next Monday, April 19th, from 2:40 to 4 p.m. All students looking to attend must RSVP on the Hofstra events calendar.
Hofstra's Department of Geology, Environment, and Sustainability will be presenting the award-winning film Kiss the Ground, a documentary shedding light on a new form of farming. The feature will be led by Annetta Centrella Vitale and Caroline Fanning of Restoration Farm. The viewing will be followed by a discussion on regenerative agriculture and sustainable farming practices here on Long Island. Check out this film on Wednesday, April 21st at 6:30 p.m. You can register on the Hofstra event calendar.
Are you a woman wanting to break into the sports business industry? The Frank G. Zarb School of Business is hosting a virtual panel about the business of sports on Wednesday, April 21st from 3:30 to 4:45 p.m. This panel will feature female business executives for collegiate and professional sports leagues and teams. Some of the speakers include Val Ackerman and Michelle Roberts. They will discuss various topics such as breaking into the industry, the pandemic's lasting effect on sports, challenges faced by female sports executives, and so much more. Advance registration is required on the Hofstra events calendar.
Now break out those budgeting books because the Zarb School of Business is providing a wide range of speakers for its upcoming virtual panel today between 5 p.m. and 6:15 p.m. Panelists including Chief Financial Officer at Northwell Health, Michelle Cusack, Chief Financial Officer at Sterling Risk Insurance, Joanne Crush, and Vice President and Chief Financial Officer at MSG, Victoria Mink, will focus their discussion on financial literacy. Make sure to register for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to receive mentoring from these powerful CFOs.
Attend Social Network Live on Wednesday, April 21st from 4 to 5 p.m. Join other Hofstra students to discuss social development and how to better maintain relationships. To RSVP, contact Dr. Louise Walters for more information. Her contact info can be found on the Hofstra events calendar.
Stay tuned for a feature on Rain Day and its significance on college campuses across the country.
Can you start off by explaining the process in distributing the vaccine to Hofstra students?
Sure. So we were notified by our partners at North Pole Health that vaccine was available. And so working with them and with the team at Hofstra and the Hofstra School of Nursing and PA Studies, as well as the School of Medicine, we were able to set up a vaccine pod and offer vaccination to students right on campus.
Welcome back to Hofstra Today. We apologize for some technical difficulties. The next series of DeMatteis executive speakers will be presenting on fire protection engineering. Attend the panel with Risa Susel tomorrow from 4:20 to 5:25 p.m. to learn about his passion for life safety systems and fire protection. Susel is an engineer with the New York State Board of Education and has over 10 years of experience with his fire protection license. No RSVP is required to attend the virtual event, and you can find the link on the Hofstra events calendar.
On Monday, April 19th, attend the Enhancing College Health in the Time of COVID event at 1 p.m. Hofstra graduate and undergraduate students will discuss the Student Health Ambassador program. Come learn how Hofstra students are keeping others safe during this difficult time. The link to RSVP for the event can be found on the Hofstra events calendar.
Now, the next installment of Hofstra University's Great Writers, Great Reading series will present alum Cristina Cortez later this month. Cortez is a first-generation Latin American poet and holds a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing and Poetics. Cortez is the author of various bilingual poems and published her first poetry collection last year. The virtual conversation will be co-hosted by Hofstra professor Phyllis Levin and will take place on Tuesday, April 27th, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. All students looking to attend must RSVP on Hofstra's event calendar. Now, every year, the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization, RAINN, recognizes RAINN Day, a day full of discussions about sexual violence awareness and prevention on college campuses. We explored how Hofstra has honored sexual assault victims in the past and how RAINN Day will look different this year in the midst of a pandemic.
So I am the campus education coordinator at the SAFE Center, which is a victim services agency. We work with survivors of sexual assault, dating and domestic violence, child abuse, elder abuse, and also human trafficking. My position is to work with college students in Nassau County, including the students from Hofstra University. My job is to reach out and provide education and training on topics like sexual violence on our college campuses, dating violence, and stalking. RAINN Day is so important because it's really a reach out to college students to let them know that they have voices that should be heard.
RAINN Day is primarily an online event now. We encourage college organizations and college leaders to hold events on their campuses and with their communities. So in the past, it has been a very in-person event. Given where we are with COVID right now, we're encouraging those events to remain virtual for this year. We've also added additional programming, and we did a series of events this year, including panel discussions, as well as discussions with our clinical director. And we had a celebration on April 8th, which is available for streaming on demand, with a number of celebrity supporters and musicians and performers really celebrating survivors and letting folks know what resources were out there for them.
Hofstra did have Take Back the Night in the past, but they're not doing it this year. What's your take on that, and what's the importance of raising awareness for sexual violence on college campuses?
Take Back the Night is a particularly unique program that allows people who are survivors to stand up and speak out and tell their truth. It's done mindfully. It's done with resources and safety nets in place, because that type of a speak out can be very triggering and very emotional for folks who participate. Doing it online in a virtual setting, which is how we'd have to do it, would be extremely difficult, particularly when it comes to safety nets. Although Hofstra is not hosting their own Take Back the Night, they are asking students, faculty, staff, and community to join a global Take Back the Night and have shared that information in multiple ways on campus.
COVID has made things look very different for everyone, but it's also given us an opportunity to show just how important this issue is. We saw the highest year of our demand in 2020. We helped more than 320,000 people last year alone. And then in May and June last year, we saw the two highest months that we've ever seen in our hotline's history, with more than 30,000 callers in each of those months. So we know that the pandemic has really affected survivors especially. And we want to make sure that that message continues to get out there. So this year we've created a bunch of new social media tools. So even if your campus isn't celebrating Rain Day or Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month, you can use those tools to help spread the message.
In New York State, we have a law that applies to our college campuses, and the name of the law is Enough is Enough. And it's so aptly named because enough is enough. You know, what happens to our students on college campuses should not be the subject of shame, ridicule, worry, trauma, PTSD, dropping out. What happens to our students on our college campuses should be that they're included in a community and environment that is reaching out to show that the support is there. If you have been victimized, you are not alone. Not only are there agencies and professional folks that can help you, but Rain Day is all about putting the focus on students and how they can help and how they can raise their voices and speak out for the folks who are just not ready to speak out themselves.
All right, now let's go outside to Paige Strout with today's weather forecast.
Thanks, Kat. Let's take a look at today's weather forecast. We can expect partly cloudy skies today, with rain showers coming later in the evening. We'll have a high of 69 degrees and a low of 50 degrees. For Thursday, expect rain all day with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. Now let's see how the rest of the week will play out here in Hempstead. Be prepared for afternoon showers on Friday with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 41 degrees. Heading into the weekend, we will see partly cloudy skies on Saturday with a high of 60 degrees and a low of 45 degrees. For Sunday, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 60 degrees and a low of 46 degrees. That's all for your 5-day forecast. I'm Paige Strout. Back to you, Kat and Max.
Put down that remote. After the break, we'll be back with our national news report.
Can you start off by explaining the process in distributing the vaccine to Hofstra students?
Sure. So we were notified by our partners at Northville Health that vaccine was available. And so working with them.
Welcome back to Hofstra Today. We sat down with Rob Stahl, Hofstra's new Executive Director of Student Health Services, to discuss Hofstra's vaccine distribution on campus.
And then
Can you start off by explaining the process in distributing the vaccine to Hofstra students?
Sure. So we were notified by our partners at Northville Health that vaccine was available. And so working with them and with the team at Hofstra and the Hofstra School of Nursing and PA Studies, as well as the School of Medicine, we were able to set up a vaccine pod and offer vaccination to students right on campus.
And now, how could students sign up for an appointment if they were looking to get one?
So the call center run through Northville Health. The vaccine call center number was published to students via Hof News. That was a unique number available only to Hofstra students. They would call that number, make an appointment, and then proceed from there to the vaccine pod later in the week.
And then did the rollout work smoothly? I know there's obviously a lot of students at Hofstra.
Absolutely. So the vaccine rollout went very smoothly. We were able to enroll 700 students in that initial first wave in the first few hours. and then filled the remaining 2,000 appointment slots within that same day that we initially opened. And then the vaccine pod itself was very successful. We were able to vaccinate over 2,000 students last week, and we're looking forward to doing it again later this week.
And now you did announce that there'll be more vaccines this time, not the Pfizer one, but Moderna. How many students will be able to receive their first dose at, I guess, the second session, if you want to call it, of vaccines coming out?
Sure. So this week, on Thursday and Friday, we have 1,000 doses of Moderna vaccine for administration.
And how much of the campus is going to be vaccinated?
So about a third of the campus student population will be vaccinated by the end of this week with their first dose. However, that doesn't account for all of the students who got vaccine off campus, at Nassau Coliseum or other pods in the area, and we are working to understand those numbers now.
And then how much of the campus should be vaccinated by the second dose of the people who went to the Pfizer vaccine?
So about that quarter number includes both Pfizer and Moderna pods from last week and this week as well.
And then was this done so that there's the intention that everyone can get vaccinated on campus?
The intention is that we offer vaccination to as many people as we can reach, and that as many people who want to receive the vaccine can do so.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, everyone, that was Robert Stahl, Executive Director of Student Health Services at Hofstra University.
All right, and now with the latest national news, let's go to Deja Gross. Thanks, Kat. Brooklyn Center, Minnesota is the site of the most recent high-profile killing of an unarmed black man at the hands of the police. The small city located in Hennepin County is where 20-year-old Dante Wright was killed Sunday during a traffic stop. The officer who killed Dante Wright was reassigned and has been charged with second-degree manslaughter this morning. Brooklyn Center Mayor Mike Elliott announced that Police Chief Tim Gannon will also be resigning in the wake of this tragic shooting. Wright was killed only 10 miles away where George Floyd was murdered by Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in May of 2020. In response to Wright's death, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz initiated a 7 p.m. curfew, where protesters instead stood face-to-face with Brooklyn Center officers. In response to recent shooting across the country, Biden is cracking down on gun violence by issuing executive orders. He directed the Department of Justice to address issues of ghost guns, which are untraceable firearms without serial numbers. Experts believe Biden's executive order could lead to a reduction in gun violence, but say congressional action is still needed for substantial change. Other federal legislation include the new infrastructure bill. The House said yesterday a gasoline tax will not include in the $1.9 trillion package. Federal health officials is calling for a pause in distribution of the Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine. A sudden move was prompted by 6 women developing rare blood clotting disorder 1 to 3 weeks after the vaccination. 1 woman died, and the other is currently hospitalized. All 6 recipients of the vaccine who developed this disorder were between the ages of 18 and 48. According to the joint statement released by the CDC and FDA, the CDC will be meeting today to further review these cases. Despite the concerns with Johnson & Johnson shot, people are still encouraged to get vaccinated against COVID-19. For Hofstra Today, I'm Deja Gross. Back to you, Kat and Max. Thank you, Deja. Now, the pandemic has changed many aspects of campus life, especially Hofstra dining. I spoke with students around campus to get their opinions on how Hofstra dining has been affected by COVID-19. Many things have changed in regard to the COVID-19 pandemic here on Hofstra University's campus, and dining services are one of them, including dining hours, seating arrangements, and more. I spoke to Hofstra University students and faculty members about these new changes implemented to keep them all safe.
Well, we had to follow all the state protocols for dining. So it meant putting up plexiglass shields everywhere, cashiers, all the serving areas and whatnot. Obviously 6-foot spacing in all our serving areas. The biggest change is probably no self-service.
We have basically 1, maybe 2 people at a station, where at times there used to be 3 to 4 people. In the kitchen as well, we have everyone in separate stations that are 6 feet apart, if not more.
The reduced hours are good for us because we can keep the facilities closed for large periods of time, which gives the university a chance to clean thoroughly and also gives the staff probably more time to rest in between and avoid getting sick.
The biggest change on campus has been not being able to sit around and eat with my friends.
Everywhere on campus has drastically reduced the amount of people that can eat at a time.
Some things are just less accessible than they used to be just because the COVID protocols and the times that we have now.
I really miss Dunkin' Donuts on South Campus.
I miss Einstein Coffee. I miss being able to eat in the library because I do a lot of studying in the library. I spend most of my time there.
But I feel like that they're doing the best that they can to make sure our safety is their top priority.
It's definitely been nice to know that if I need to go somewhere to eat, a lot of people have their masks off. Everyone's kind of spread out a little bit more, which is a lot better.
Some changes are coming. We haven't seen many as far as what might impact us in our dining facilities yet.
We have to see what Nassau County Board of Health, all of their regulations first before we can move forward.
So we'll adjust to whatever changes make sense for the business as time comes. But of course, if the school is looking to go full force, we're ready for it.
I'm excited to finally, hopefully, eventually see people's faces again.
As you can see, the new changes implemented by Hofstra University have received a positive response from both students and faculty. We thank Compass Signing Services for ensuring our safety here on campus. For Hofstra Today, I'm Katerina Balalis.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break with this week's entertainment report.
Welcome back to Hofstra Today. Let's go to Gabe James for Hofstra's entertainment update.
Thanks, Kat. The music department is rounding out its season with 2 concerts in the coming weeks. The Brass Ensemble is conducting its concert on April 18th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., and the Choral Chamber Singers is following right after with their concert on April 23rd from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Tickets are available for purchase on the music department's concert calendar, and both concerts are to be held online. Open your ears and computer screens to these music performances coming your way. Check out the Russian department's last film screening of the academic year. They will be presenting the film Hipsters, that follows a group of young Russians living in Moscow, fascinated by American culture and striving to defy Stalinist culture. Join Professor of Russian Studies, Dr. Benjamin Rifkin, April 24th from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for a discussion before and after the screening. Make sure to register on the Hofstra events calendar. The Hofstra Drama Department will be presenting their last dramatic performance, Phaedra. This performance will be presented virtually and streamed on Twitch. The play is translated and directed by Royston Coppinger and offers strong roles for women while bringing forth topics like stereotyping and gender roles. Performances opened last weekend and will continue into this weekend, April 16th and 17th at 8 p.m. and the 18th at 2 p.m. Check out the Drama Department's social media for more information on tickets. I had the opportunity to speak with the cast and crew of Phaedra about their rehearsal process and experience performing virtually. Let's take a look. Last week, Hofstra's Drama Department's last show of the semester, Phaedra, opened. I had the amazing opportunity to talk to some of the wonderful cast and crew about their experiences during a virtual production.
My experience so far with Phaedra has been one of the most unique theater experiences I've ever had in my life. I've never done a show properly on Zoom before, but now we're doing it with production. We have backdrops behind us. We got cameras and mics going on. We've been working with the format for longer, so it's very different. But it's been really fun. It's been like a whole new thing.
The most challenging part is definitely not being able to really see who you're acting with. It's created
a really unique experience that's been kind of difficult to adjust to. But it's been working. It's been working well, I think.
To have to work through the machinations of all the virtual broadcast elements has been a tremendous challenge. I think it's been an enjoyable challenge. We've really taken the reins to hone this process, but it's a learning curve and it's a new process. And boy, it was a challenge.
With this production, we're really pioneering a completely new kind of performance. It's not quite the grandiose live theater, but it's also not film. It's truly a combination of both, and that's something that we've really taken into account both in our performances and in our sound design. And so it's been a really wonderful opportunity to kind of create something really new and really special.
This was really important for us, I think, as a community of artists. A lot of college theater programs have just shut down this year. They've chosen not to do productions. But we felt it was really important for our students to have that experience and to feel as though we could still be productive. They could still be productive and continue learning and growing through production, which is one of the reasons we do them, even in these difficult times.
Honestly, I'm really excited for audience to see the actors' hard work, because they took the show that we started with doing in-person rehearsals and brought it to Zoom, and they adapted so quickly, and I'm honestly proud of them as their stage manager.
I think that the thing I'm most excited about is just the opportunity for audiences to see it at all, that we can prove that really it's always been essential, but I think especially now when we're all suffering so much, it's so important to tell stories and share that human connection and experience.
Phaedra's going to be streamed on Twitch, and you can find those links in the Hofstra Drama Dance Instagram, on their Facebook, and it will be happening this coming weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m.
Thank you so much to the cast and crew of Hofstra's Phaedra. We hope you have a wonderful closing weekend. Back to you, Kat and Max.
Thank you, Gabe, and stick around to get the latest news in Hofstra sports.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Hofstra Today. Let's go to David Lazar for this week's sports update.
Thanks, Kat. Craig Speedy Claxton has been named the new head coach of the men's basketball team. Claxton played for the Pride between 1996 and 2000, leading them to an America East Conference championship his senior year. He played in the NBA for a number of years, winning a championship in 2003 with the San Antonio Spurs before returning to Hofstra as an assistant coach. He says this is his dream job and he is looking forward to taking the program to new heights. Over the weekend, the Hofstra soccer teams dominated. The women beat Towson 7-2 at home, and Lucy Porter scored a hat trick. The men traveled to Boston and played Northeastern. Storm Strong and scored an Olympic goal to win the game 4-3 in overtime. Both teams have clinched the top spot in the division and will kick off their playoff runs tomorrow. The women will play Elon at 4 p.m. in the CAA semifinals, while the men will drive to Philadelphia to play UNCW in their own tournament semifinals, also at 4 p.m. The men's lacrosse team fell to Towson yesterday by a score of 10-8. The Tigers earned a quick 3-0 lead and held it from there. Ryan Tierney led Hofstra with a hat trick, while Bobby Casey recorded 7 saves in net. This was Hofstra and Towson's second matchup of the season. Each team won on their home turf. Hofstra is now 6-3 overall and will play again this Saturday against Delaware in Hempstead. Game time is set for 4 p.m. Back to you, Kat and Max.
Thank you, David, and thank you to everyone who joined us today for the 4th episode of Hofstra Today. We'll be back with our final episode on April 28th.
Be sure to follow us at Hofstra Today on Twitter and Instagram, and to like us on Facebook. We are live on our Hofstra Today Facebook page and the Heat Network, channel 32.2. You can also find all of our episodes on our Vimeo, Hofstra Television Interactive. We'll see you next time, and until then, have a great rest of your day.